morning and Jai Hind to everyone who is watching here. Welcome back to Sanvad, the Sunbeam School Varuna podcast. Today, I have the honor of sitting down with someone whose work truly empowers others. We have Ms. Deepti Shankar sitting amongst us. She's the founder and director of Safe Campus. She is the first Indian woman having been trained in Israel in real-based self-defense systems. And she has also been working with women and children for the last 8 years to create empowerment of people through learning. Thank you so much, ma'am, for joining us today here. It's an immense pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. The pleasure is all mine.
So should I begin with the podcast?
Yes.
Okay.
Please go ahead.
So, the first question which I want to ask you is that, ma'am, could you take us back to the beginning? What inspired you to enter the field of self-defense?
It's a long story, but I'm a fashion designer by profession. I might not look like one now, but I started my career in fashion designing in early 2000, I would say, and just that time, finishing my school, my college, getting into my own career, my personal life, getting married, getting into a family. There's so much that happened, As a girl, as a woman, I felt so many times I wanted to say no, but I just couldn't. Because that fear would take over. What would people think about me? Am I doing this right? Will the results be in favor of me? Will my family, my parents, my society be happy with this? Everybody else was so important. I wasn't for myself at that time, I couldn't say no to so many things that I wanted to. And when I saw other girls around me, other women, the same story. Growing up as a girl in India, I think, brought me to a place where I thought going by what everybody else wants me to do is the right thing to do. So in a way, not having a mind, not having a voice of my own was kind of the first thought that brought me to the place where I started thinking, is this exactly who I'm supposed to be? Is this how I'm supposed to be living my life? Having your own career. I was the head girl of my school when I finished my school, And when I got into my career, I was doing pretty well for myself. But still, that wasn't enough. So that brought me to a place that made me think, can I do something to empower myself? To feel stronger, because every time I would go out, my family would say, "Raat ko mat jao, akele mat jaya karo, don't do this and don't do that, don't travel alone." So I would always feel I'm not enough for myself. And just that feeling brought me to a place where I wanted to learn, to be strong, to be able to do something that made me believe that I can do whatever I want to do in my life. And also to tell people around me that don't worry, I'm fine. I can take care of myself. As a girl growing up, we never did push-ups in our life, We never thought that strength was also needed. We never thought that being mentally, physically strong was a girl thing to do.
Yeah.
And that's where I started. And then I started Googling, finding out where can I go, what can I do. And that's when I found out that I could go to Israel and I trained with the ex-Israeli, people, the ex-army from Israel. And they conduct these courses for people from all over the world, where they teach us hand-to-hand combatives. It's called Krav Maga and Kapap, which is face-to-face combat. I don't have a gun, I don't have a knife. But still, when I'm walking on the road, somebody looks at me, passes a lewd remark. Somebody tries to look at me and makes me feel uncomfortable. Or somebody tries to get close to me and tries to touch me, and I feel uncomfortable. But what do? So that is what is hand-to-hand combat, reality-based self-defense system. And that's when I went to Israel, I learned it, and I brought that thing to India.
Wow.
About 15 years ago.
Wow. It's honestly, it's so inspiring to hear how personal experiences can turn into a mission that impacts so many lives, ma'am. Thank you for answering that. That brings me to another question for you, that what are the biggest challenges you have faced while training people?
So I think the first thing, when I started doing this as work, nobody else has a career like this around me. First of all, it wasn't a career. So who would pay you for this? People always looked at it like karate, taekwondo, kara liya. The tick mark ho gaya, Somebody comes and does that. But karate, taekwondo is a sport, bete. People go and play. I play karate, you play karate. We can play together. But if I play karate and you play taekwondo, can we play together? We can't. It's like playing cricket and football. Right? So when I came into this work and I thought I wanted to make this as a career, the first roadblock was, why would anybody want to hire you and give you work and pay you for that? And the second part of it was, especially girls in India, they never wanted to break that stereotype. I want to be pretty. I want to be good looking. I want to be a good girl. I don't want to break that image of a good girl by going and punching somebody or raising my voice and saying, no, don't do that to me. I don't like that. Nobody wanted to do that. So even today, I think after 15 years of working in India, I still face this challenge, If you invite 500 people for a workshop, you will end up having 100 people for the workshop.
True.
Because the others feel, it's not important. Doctor, engineer, scientist बनना ज़रूरी है, but safe रहना ज़रूरी नहीं है. And which is why you see how the crime and violence in India is increasing every single day. We've been talking about it, we've been working on it, but you tell me honestly, has it gone down?
No.
And it's not going down anywhere soon. We can't see that happening.
It's only increasing.
Yes. And even the government, the schools, the colleges, the Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, so much of it is happening. But actually the Beti has to come forward to bachao herself. And which is where the change has to be brought in, The girls have to come up and say, yes, I want to be a part of this. The boys have to come up and say, yes, I want to learn this. So I can be the defender, the protector, and the guy who can support everybody else around. And that's when things will change. I think I'm still struggling at that.
Yeah, and honestly, like you as being a female who is teaching how to have train like others,
Yeah.
that is also people have a typical mindset that how can a woman be teaching others about how to self-defense?
Yes.
That is also
About how to protect yourself.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Because people think, she herself is a woman. Women are anyway weaker.
Yeah.
No, it's not like that. And see, what we need to understand is, in real life, you don't have to jump in the air and make a fancy kick. It's just about being able to look strong, to carry yourself in a way that your body language tells people, don't mess up with me. That's
Yeah.
all. That's all.
Yeah. Thank you, ma'am. Like, another question for you. Like, most of the people think that self-defense is all about physical strength.
Yes.
But you teach a lot of mental strategies to also cope up with.
Absolutely.
So can you tell about a time when staying calm was more important than throwing a punch or a kick?
I think self-defense in itself, has been painted in a way that it is about kicks and punches.
Yeah.
But self-defense is a very mental thing. Globally, if you look at self-defense classes, it is always taught in classrooms where the first sentence starts with, your mind is the strongest weapon that you have.
True.
Simplest of examples, I go to a movie theater, I'm standing in a row to buy a ticket. There are men, women all around me. Somebody behind me tries to push me, tries to touch me. A natural instinct would say, turn around, break him down. Why are you doing this? Bhaiya, aisa kyun kar raha? Whatever. But if you stay calm and you turn around and say, can you please stay away from me? Trust you me, that is a harder slap than actually going and slapping somebody. Because when they see you confident, when they see you standing for yourself, they understand. Dare not get close to her.
Yeah.
And that, I think, is most important in self-defense. Learning to draw your boundaries mentally, emotionally, and physically. Especially in India, 93% of crimes are committed by people who know you.
True.
They could be our relatives, they could be our family members, somebody who works with my dad, my mom in their office, in my environment. But why do they get a chance to commit a crime on us? Because we trust them. So staying calm in your place and being able to tell people, this is my space, don't get into it without my permission, is enough. You don't have to hit anybody. Trust you me, in my last 15 years of career of teaching this, I've never slapped anybody in my life. I never have. I don't need to.
Yeah.
That's how it is. And that's what I teach in my classes.
Yeah.
Be mentally so strong that when you talk, people should know I'm not a gullible person. I can't be messed up with. That's what makes the difference.
Indeed, ma'am. Like, mental strength and emotionally being strong is
Yeah.
way more important.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you, ma'am. Like, that brings me to another question that, like, with rising concerns with safety, especially for women in our India, what message would you like to give to the young girls like us today?
The first thing that I would want all the girls to think about is, when you have taken the step, being so courageous to decide to go out, to study, to make a career, to live life on your own terms, then in your to-do list, the most priority things in your life, you must think, if I stay safe, will I be able to become a doctor, engineer, scientist? For example, when you go to a driving class and you learn how to drive a car, they teach you how to change the tires as well, right?
Yeah.
Because if you're driving a car, sometimes the tire might go flat and you might have to change it. You might not get a mechanic. Life is also like that. When you decide to go out, and why go out? Why not at home? There's so much of domestic violence that is happening across the globe right now. So, girls, I would want all of you to start thinking that you have a mind of your own, you have decisions of your own that you stand by, and you be careful the moment you see the red flags. Red flags are what? You tell me, what are red flags?
Red flags, basically the people who don't know how to behave, like toxic.
And they say something you don't like.
Yeah.
Or you feel like this is not my kind of environment.
Not my vibe.
Yeah. The moment you feel that, your mind should start saying, I should maintain my safe distance.
Yeah.
I'm not going to let you come close to me, even if you're my closest person. Because domestic violence happens with your closest of people.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
But if
ma'am.
that's my red flag, you abuse me, you talk to me badly, you mistreat me, I have all the reasons to stay away from you and say, hey, no, stay away from me. I don't feel comfortable. Till the time you reassure me of my safety, I have no reason to allow you to come close to me. And all of this is mental. It's got nothing to do with kicks and punches. It's all about your mental
Yeah.
preparedness and how to be able to understand what's happening in your environment.
True.
So I would recommend you girls have a strong mind. Identify the red flags. Be clear first. What is your red flag? Because your red flag will be different from my red flag.
Indeed.
So choose your space for yourself and speak up when you don't like it. Don't wait for things to go wrong. Because once it has happened and then you fight, damage is already done.
Yes, ma'am.
So before the damage happens, speak up for yourself. And trust you me, we are all out there to help you young girls, your parents, your teachers, your school. Sunbeam is a fantastic place to express yourself and be who you are. The teachers are so supportive. They stand by you forever. So when you grow up in such an environment, you should have a mind that says, I know how to take care of myself. And if something goes wrong, I can speak up. And if I speak up, I will find solutions to my problems. That is how I would recommend the young girls should groom themselves. Aim high, have big dreams. But we are the air beneath your wings. We are helping you fly. We want you to fly high. So just believe in your system. Just be there. Connect with your parents strongly. Share whatever is happening in your environment. If you're not happy about something and you hide it, they can't help you. Same thing goes with your offices. When you grow up in a corporate setup and something is not right, please go to the concerned department, concerned people, speak up, tell them what you're not happy about. And then you'll find a solution
Being
to it.
vocal is like very important.
Very important.
Yeah.
Learning to say no in the right time, in the right place, I think is your trick to stay safe.
True.
And that's what is going to make all the difference.
True. Thank you, ma'am, for answering. Now comes the most awaited segment of the podcast, which is the rapid fire question.
Okay.
Rules are very simple, ma'am. I'll be asking you questions, and you have to answer those questions with either one word or with 2 or 3 sentences.
Okay.
Shall we start?
Yes.
Okay. First question. One word to describe Safe Campus.
Safe campus mission.
Okay. Kicks or punches?
Words.
Okay. Okay. Yoga or gym?
None. Believe in yourself.
Okay.
Whatever works for you.
Okay. Great. Okay. If you could teach one self-defense move to every person in 30 seconds, what it would be?
In 30 seconds, if I have to teach somebody, all that I would say is put your shoulders straight. Wherever you sit, wherever you talk to people, look into the eyes of people when you talk to them. That's the first line of self-defense.
Okay. If Safe Campus was not possible, as you already mentioned that it is not as seen as a career. If it was not possible, what would you be doing?
I told you I was a fashion designer. You would have
Okay.
seen me on the ramps on Lakme India Fashion Week and stuff like that. But I think God had a better plan, and I do what I enjoy the most right now, and I'm happy doing that.
Okay. Last question. If you could partner with any celebrity or influencer to promote Safe Campus, who would it be and why?
Some people I like, Priyanka Chopra, the global ambassador of how women should be, strong,
Yeah.
powerful.
Feminist, all for
feminine at the same time so strong.
Yeah.
Extremely strong, Priyanka Chopra is one, John Abraham. I like him. If
Yeah.
he would come with me for my classes, and all the girls would swoon around him. They would like him to be in my class.
Okay.
And who else? Who else? Deepika Padukone also, I like her as well because
Okay.
she also comes across as somebody who's very, very strong and powerful.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Hit hard or heels deep?
Hit hard.
Okay. That's it. Thank you so much, ma'am, for answering the questions. We honestly, I sitting with you, I feel so having a pleasure. I have got to learn so many things from you. Thank you so much for everyone for watching. We'll reach you back again. Ansha this side signing off.
Thank you so much.